I'm Amanda, a 35-year-old woman working as an executive secretary at a local company. I met Matthew, my same-age husband, who worked as a salesman in my FIL's company during our college days in a tennis club, and we got married. We live with my in-laws and Matthew's younger sister, Iris, who is 10 years younger than us. My in-laws are a prominent family in the area. My Phil runs a major construction company, and my Mill is a city councilwoman. Many relatives are politicians, business executives, or government officials, a truly distinguished family. My own family owns some land, so I was aware of being raised in a wealthy home. However, the scale of my in-laws' wealth was something else. I felt quite intimidated when I first visited their house. They have several live-in housekeepers, a separate living space where Matthew's late grandparents lived, and even a storage house. Matthew always seemed a bit out of touch with the real world, and I understood why after learning about his background. I remember when he was a freshman in our tennis club, he was sent to the supermarket with the seniors, and he was shocked to find that cup noodles were sold for about $1. He thought they cost around $5. He had never experienced shopping with a budget before, and I vividly remember his puzzled look as I shopped within the budget given by the seniors. What drew me to him was his kindness. He never spoke ill of others, didn't join in when someone was being teased, and even when urged by others, he'd say, "No, I'm not interested." What's fun about teasing someone? Let's do something more enjoyable, freeing the person being teased. After several such instances, I mustered the courage to confess to him after a get-together, and that's how our relationship began. When we decided to get married, I thought I could build a warm family with someone as kind as him. His parents, both busy business people, seemed not to pay much attention to us. My Mill said, "Let's live without interfering with each other, maintaining a comfortable distance," which made me believe my married life would be happy. However, that happiness never came. The root of all this was his 10 years younger sister, Iris. She spent more time with Matthew than with her busy parents from a young age. When I first visited my in-laws' house, she glared at me and said, "I haven't spent much time together with my parents, but Matthew has always been by my side. I won't allow an outsider like you to enter our family." The in-laws scolded her for being rude, but she retorted, "You always don't care about me anyway," and ran out crying. Matthew didn't scold her, just saying, "Iris is just lonely," which frustrated me. I felt uneasy about her attitude as our wedding day approached, and even after moving into the in-laws' house. Her dislike for me manifested in various harassments. She constantly tried to separate me from Matthew, intruding on our conversations in the living room as a routine. When we discussed important matters like life plans or family planning and asked her to wait, she'd throw a tantrum, claiming we were excluding her. But Matthew didn't reprimand her for such behavior, saying, "Iris is just lonely, she's so cute." She then claimed it was her right as a sister to monopolize her brother, even following us on outings meant for just the two of us, and he accepted her presence as if it were natural. I initially tried to get along with her, talking and giving small gifts, but she ignored me, so I eventually gave up. "I'd like to go out just the two of us. We should invite Iris too. It would be more fun." How many times did we have such exchanges? No matter how much I expressed my hurt over being ignored, my concerns were dismissed as mere imagination. That would have been better than the reality. She harassed me by hiding or throwing away my belongings and even claimed my damaged items as hers on social media, playing the victim. She posted unflattering photos of me, leading to strangers and acquaintances criticizing me as the mean cell. Despite my protests, she demeaned me, saying, "This is my house, I can do what I want. You're just a poor thing living off Matthew's money." Despite the housekeepers being instructed to ignore my commands, their reports to my in-laws about her behavior led to her being scolded several times. But she would just get upset, saying, "Don't you love me, Mom and Dad?" She told Matthew that she is bullied by everyone, and Matthew would say, "They have to be nice to you. You're my dear little sister," taking her side no matter how much I argued. I was filled with helpless frustration. Adding to my woes, Matthew indulged her demands for expensive trips and branded items, spending extravagantly, causing me distress. This lifestyle brought me immense stress, leading to physical symptoms like headaches and stomach aches. We were trying to conceive, but the doctor warned that this stress could affect our efforts. The root of my stress is Iris. If something isn't done about her behavior, we might never have a baby. Matthew, who was eager for children, seemed shocked when I relayed the doctor's words, but he still sided with Iris. Her behavior is stressful. Maybe it's just the way you're perceiving things, he said, as usual, taking her side. However, a turning point came in our lives. Iris graduated from college and got engaged. Her fiancé was the son of the CEO of a company that had business dealings with my FIL's company. Iris accepted the proposal, saying she would dedicate herself to being a homemaker. After Iris left, my health improved significantly, and I thought it was only a matter of time before I would become pregnant. However, no signs of pregnancy appeared. A visit to the gynecologist revealed that I had some difficulties conceiving. Matthew was initially shocked but encouraged me to stay positive. His kindness reminded me that he could be a good man, just not when it came to Iris. Despite following the doctor's advice on diet and lifestyle and undergoing treatments, I still struggled to conceive. Gradually, Matthew's attitude cooled, and he started to press me. When will you get pregnant? You don't want to get pregnant, do you? That's why it's not happening. That's not true. I want to have our child. Seeing pregnant women or families with children always brought me to tears, wondering why I couldn't have that. 2 years later, Iris became pregnant first. Matthew, without knowing the gender of the baby, began buying expensive baby gear and maternity items for her. He even took time off work to accompany her to maternity photo shoots and checkups. He started pressuring me more, saying, "Iris could get pregnant. Why can't you?" I was too drained to argue back. Iris chose to return to her parents' home to give birth. She called me defective as a woman and told me to get a divorce. It only worsened my condition. This situation deteriorated to the point where I had to take leave from work. Iris gave birth safely but was immediately divorced. That was because her affair. She had been having an affair with a man she met at a cafe, and the child's father was actually him. It turned out she got pregnant when her husband was away on a long business trip. A paternity test confirmed her child wasn't her husband's, leading to an immediate divorce and her return to her parents' house. My in-laws were furious. Because Iris's ex-husband was the son of the CEO of a company that had business dealings with my FIL's company, this scandal resulted in the cancellation of a major business deal and a significant loss. My Mill's political career was jeopardized as she lost support from her backers because of the scandal. Iris had to have her parents cover the alimony, further straining relations. My in-laws confronted her, saying, "Once trust is lost, it's hard to regain. How are you going to make this right? It's his fault for being such a boring man," she retorted, insisting that they should adore their first grandchild. My in-laws instructed her to work and contribute to expenses, but Matthew opposed, claiming he would support Iris. Iris's ex-husband was not good enough. That's why Iris couldn't fully commit to him. "I'll take care of Iris's living expenses," he declared firmly. My in-laws and I were against it, and Michael threatened to kick her out if Matthew took care of Iris's living expenses, so he reluctantly gave up. Initially, Iris looked for a job but gradually stopped job searching and skipped job interviews. She neglected her child, leaving the care to the housekeepers. Matthew didn't give her money directly but bought her meals, clothes, and jewelry. And she sold those items for living expenses, contributing to the household. I tried to tell my in-laws, but they were busy trying to regain their reputation. As Iris recovered from childbirth, she started going out at night, sneaking out and returning late. I was speechless at her behavior. One day, Matthew and Iris called me to the living room for a talk. "What is it?" "I'm getting remarried, so my kid's in the way." "Why don't you adopt him, since you can't have one? It'll be perfect for you. I'll let you raise it." I was stunned. A child is not a nuisance. It's selfish to push your child onto someone else just because you're remarrying. I have no intention of adopting your child. I couldn't comprehend her attitude, desperately wanting a child myself. "But it's a fact you can't get pregnant." "What?" Just as I was about to respond, Matthew interrupted. "Don't you dare defy Iris. A barren woman should keep quiet. If you resist, I'll divorce you." He threw a signed divorce form at me. I was shocked, my mind went blank. And then, I felt something inside me snap, something that had been stretched tight until now. "Well, I'm already pregnant, doe." "What?" Matthew looked confused at my words. "I went to see the doctor last week, and she told me I'm pregnant." The recent sickness I've been feeling was because of the pregnancy. Here, this is the ultrasound, I said, showing him the picture. His eyes widened in disbelief. Are you really pregnant? Then why didn't you tell me sooner? I was planning to surprise you with the news on your birthday next week, so I can be a father. No, you can't. What do you mean? It's my child, isn't it? Why can't I be a father? Matthew was at a loss for words, clearly not expecting my response. You just handed me the divorce form. So, we're getting divorced. Wait, please. That was just a slip of the tongue. No way. You can take care of Iris's child if you wish. We can raise both Iris's child and ours together. That should solve the problem, right? Absolutely not. Maybe it's fine while Iris's child is too young to understand, but imagine how hurt he'd be knowing he was abandoned by his mother. And abandoning parental responsibility is unthinkable. I was furious at his rash words and retorted sharply, ignoring his persistence. Just don't tell to the child about it. I turned to Iris, who was nonchalantly playing with her phone, and confronted her. What kind of nerve do you have to put your child up for adoption just because you're getting remarried? You should be responsible for him as his mother. Don't be so mad. I just want to have a child with him, so this one's in the way. If I found someone to take him, I'm taking my responsibility as a mother, right? I reached my boiling point with Iris's self-centered remarks. Stop joking around. You're unfit to be a mother. Have you ever considered how your child would feel being abandoned by his mother? You're heartless. Iris was frightened and tearful. And then I coldly declared to Matthew, I have no intention of raising a child with someone who treats their child like an object. We are getting divorced. I'm leaving today. Please don't leave. It's our long-awaited child. Let me be a father. He pleaded with tears, but I was adamant, no joke. I no longer want to be married to a jerk like you. Goodbye. And with that, I left the living room. I won't allow you to leave. Matthew pleaded with me not to leave, but Iris clung to his pants, crying, Where are you going, Matthew? I don't want to be alone. As he tried to shake her off, he lost his balance and fell. Matthew called out to me, but I ignored him. After explaining the situation to my in-laws when they returned home, they apologized profusely and promised to pay alimony and child support. Later, we got divorced. My in-laws brought me additional compensation, apologizing for their children's behavior. They informed me that Iris and Matthew had been kicked out of the house, and the baby was being taken care of by them. They even legally adopted the child. Furthermore, Iris's remarriage was called off once her fiancé learned about the situation. After I left, my in-laws, having seen Matthew and Iris blame each other and treating their child like an object, declared they wanted nothing to do with them and kicked them out on the spot. They now live in a nearby apartment, but Matthew has spent all his savings catering to Iris's whims, and she controls all his income, leading him to a life without freedom. Neither of them has ever done household chores, so their apartment is a mess. Their apartment is so dirty it emits a foul smell, drawing complaints from neighbors and a notice to vacate from the landlord. It's only a matter of time before they're kicked out. Recently, I saw Matthew at a supermarket, looking haggard and worn out. It seems he's burdened with a tough sales job and household chores. And Iris started working to pay off the alimony her parents covered for her ex-husband and for breaking off her recent engagement. With no prior work experience, Iris couldn't find a high-paying job and is juggling part-time jobs. I heard from a friend living nearby that Iris is always irritated due to stress at work and often fights loudly with Matthew, their voices carrying outside. But she's staying with Matthew because she can't make it on her own. I don't feel sorry for them at all. Iris, who had always been spoiled, and Matthew, who had spoiled her, are just paying for their past actions now. I, on the other hand, returned to my parents' home and safely gave birth to a baby girl. I'm now busy with first-time motherhood, supported by my parents, and planning to return to work once I'm ready. I'm looking forward to a peaceful life as a mother, watching my child grow.